Delicious.
So, there I was, just taking a break from a shoot, doom scrolling, waiting for the gummy to kick in, so I don't have to have one singular thought of my own to ruin my day. And yet, again, I find myself here with barely a script to speak of, just that kind of seething, impotent rage that I usually save for customer service calls. Let me ask you a question. You person, people out there, the 7 to 10 people watching this, listening, question. What did a trans person ever do to you? Like just one thing. Just name a thing. One whole thing a trans person has done to you personally, professionally, psychologically. Chances are the answer is nothing. Trans people simply exist as people, as human beings. Their existence does not affect your existence in any negative or, positive way, just in no way. A trans person didn't take anything from you. The mere fact of trans people existing does not affect you in any way. Unless you're a spineless, soft little bitch. Or in the case of the Republican-led Kansas state legislature, a pile of worthless, spineless, soft little bitches who this week passed one of the most draconian anti-trans bills in the country. And I gotta tell you, if you're paying attention, the competition is stiff. This year alone, 604 anti-trans bills put up to vote, 70 of which have become actual law. Rights destroying law, freedom destroying law, life destroying law, overriding a veto by the governor. This pile of mouth-breathing, suit-wearing troglodytes that somehow managed to find themselves in power passed a bill that will end power, and I am not making this up. Bathroom bounty hunters, little poop punishers, just people hired to be constantly vigilant about what's in everyone's pants when they enter the room where the pee goes. And that's not even the worst part of the bill. It never is, because this constant prattling about the bathroom aspect of these capital C crusades is designed to distract you from the actual aims of the bills, which is to completely erase trans people from society. Because buried in this legislation is a directive that demands the DMV and the Attorney General's office begin invalidating, not questioning, not checking up on, invalidating every single license and birth certificate of every single trans Kansan, which, despite the circumstances, is incredibly fun to say. Trans Kansan. This is the literal definition of erasure. When they have no identifying documents with which to verify their identity, their right to be in the place that they are, who do you think is gonna be right there to pick them up and whisk them away from the public eye, huh? Do you actually believe that the $35 billion worth of detention facilities currently under construction are only for immigrants? Let's look at historical context. History time. So, a few months after Hitler got the top spot, the people that put him there were feeling fresh and frisky. They went on a campaign of public book burnings to celebrate. They destroyed libraries and educational institutions in an attempt to set a new paradigm for the future by destroying the past. One of the first places they attacked was the Institute for Sexual Research, founded and run by Magnus Hirschfeld. This was the first medical center devoted to the study of gender and sexuality. At this institute, trans patients received gender-affirming care. Activists campaigned for the rights of queer Germans. Doctors conducted research on gender-affirming procedures. All of that information, all of that research, all of it lost in a blaze of nationalist fervor, never to be recovered, never to be seen again. Knowledge lost to the ether of mankind's worst impulses. And here we are, again. The blueprint of the Nazis, enacted by people that get very offended when you call them Nazis. In a year where trans military personnel were forcibly removed from the service, dishonorably discharged, left bereft of all income related to their decades of honorable contributions, when whole political machines are moved to prevent one trans girl from playing on one team in one state, when people are being erased from the rolls of our historical record so that they can be shipped off to the shadows, this move in Kansas and the relative silence from the mainstream media regarding it shows a society still filled with people still operating from the, well, it ain't happening to me perspective. When the dust clears, I'm telling you, when the forests are cleaved of wood for the gallows we are going to erect in the name of making up for this stain on history, I hope, it's my sincerest hope, that it is these people that are shamed to the outskirts of polite society, who are shunned and publicly humiliated. I hope every one of them has a choir that stands outside their windows and screams shame until the last breath leaves their pathetic bodies. So it brings me, I come back to my original question. What did trans people do to deserve being treated like this? And the answer has always been not a goddamn thing. Only losers hate people for no good goddamn reason. Riley Gaines, Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling. Rich? Yes, for sure. But soft-headed crybaby losers all the same. Democratic Rep. Abby Bowman, a trans legislator in the Kansas House, said, and I quote, "I've had to listen to the body here argue for 5 hours about my basic humanity and ability to take part in the basic functions of society. I certainly hope that my Republican colleagues never have to go through something like that. Even in the face of annihilation, she maintains a level of grace that I personally will never be able to muster. Grace for her fucking executioners. Because she has no other choice. But we do. They are building a meat grinder in your name, and it is powered by the apathy of the masses." I'm Jason from The Void. Thanks for stopping by.